I'm
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's your boy Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. And it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. So on this channel, everybody, I typically try to give you guys literally a six-figure MBA level worth of investing and financial advice for free here on YouTube. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So I have been seriously looking forward to this interview. This is my boy. Let me introduce you to this cat, okay? Serial entrepreneur or whatever. Fellow brother in Christ. Fellow certified personal trainer. Yo, me and this dude lift weights or whatever, and we take our shirts off, everybody in the gym looks at us. Or whatever.
more so him than me, but more so him than me.
Nah, bro, nah. Or whatever. Former semi-professional athlete or whatever. And as I said earlier, everybody, this is one of the men that basically literally pushes me to work hard. I get up at 3:30 in the morning or whatever to grind. This is one of the guys, and this is one of the reasons why, because this dude right here, iron literally legit sharpens iron or whatever. So with that or whatever, I'll introduce my boy DJ to you, okay? Never settle, everybody, okay? Never settle. Never settle.
Never settle, for sure. Hold on one second, Chris. Let me set this up.
Cool. The man never stops working either. He's dealing with a client right now as we speak.
boy, I tell you, it's been a day. But how we doing? Listen, man, I just want to first thank you just for having me on the show, bro. I love what you've been doing. I love what you've been doing in the community. Financipation. What more can we say? How much better could that be by creating wealth through finance?
Absolutely. It's kind of funny, DJ, because if you really think about it, everybody just want to leave a legacy or whatever. And in my opinion, people that are financially literate, people that understand how finances truly work or whatever, people that understand how to give wealth from themselves to their kids, to their grandkids or whatever, those types of communities that do that, they literally never stay down for very long. It's just as simple as that. I know coming from the background that I come from, we're going to talk more about it or whatever. My people typically work very hard, but we unfortunately we're never really taught how to invest properly. And because of that, it's kept us unfortunately at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder, not because we're lazy, but just because we don't know how money works or whatever. So if you know how to if you understand finance, if you're financially literate, if you basically are financially emancipated or whatever, which is why I call this financipation, your line will literally never be down for very long. It's just as simple as that. So
for sure. And that's definitely one of the goals that I have, for not just for myself, but for people around me. When you told me that you were starting a channel, I was in full support of it, because teaching financial stability, just putting out wealth, is something that we're both very passionate about.
Absolutely. And it's crazy, man, because of the stuff that I learned in grad school. I'm like, why don't they teach us in the hood? Why don't they teach us in the barbershops? Why don't we talk about this stuff like in football practice or basketball practice? Why don't we talk about this stuff in the boxing gyms? We don't know it. And because we don't know it, we stay poor.
Yeah.
Simple as that. All right, DJ. Let's go ahead and get it started, bro. First off, I know you very well, obviously, but I want you to introduce yourself to my audience. Whatever. Who is DJ? Like, how did you grow up? Who were you in high school or whatever? Were you an athlete? Were you a scholar? Tell us about all that kind of stuff. Or were you always an entrepreneur? Tell us about this kind of stuff.
DJ in high school, man. I was a smart kid, I would say. But I was also trying to find myself, because coming from third world country, having immigrant parents, and living in the hood per se, you can be swayed in a lot of different directions. So I was an athlete. I played soccer and I played football, and that's all I played, which is probably why I'm trash in basketball now. But I was more of a scholar in elementary school and middle school more than high school, just because there were so many different influences in high school, and I didn't know if I wanted to be a thug, didn't know if I wanted to be an athlete. I was always smart, so I was a scholar, but in the school that I went to, that wasn't always the coolest thing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but I graduated from Boyd Anderson High School here in I lied. I didn't graduate from Boyd Anderson High School. I actually graduated from South Plantation High School, excuse me. But I did go to BA for a couple of years. I bounced around. So I went to, I believe, maybe 3 different high schools, because I started off at a Christian high school. You may have not known that about me, Chris. It was a Christian high school to start, and Our class was, I, to say the least, not the best class, and we all got kicked out of school, so we all had to go to public school. Yeah, we're not proud of that, but we were the only
Hey, bro, I
ones.
went to two high schools for a reason. I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's just a little about me. I got my master's in finance at NSU down here, and I did my undergraduate at FIU, where I got a double major in human resources and business management.
Got you, got you. So you went the pure business route. I mean, everything about that kind of screams entrepreneurial, if you will.
I actually wanted to be a doctor when I well, my parents wanted me to be a doctor, which in turn made me want to be a doctor. And when I met chemistry in high school, that kind of changed my my mind.
Got you, got you. You said immigrant. I obviously know, but what great immigrant country are you from?
Oh, I'm Haitian. I'm Haitian, as you can see. We I didn't even know that was in the camera until just now, but yeah, we're from Haiti, the first Black independent nation.
1804.
1804, baby. It's tatted on my chest. It's really not, but it's a song.
Nah, that's what's up. Quick, let's back up real quick. You said that in high school it was not cool to be smart. I know where you're coming from with that, but explain that unfortunate bullshit. Sorry, explain that unfortunate BS, please. Explain that.
Yeah. You're looked at as a goody two shoes, or oh, you think you're smarter than us, and it's crazy. Within the era that I grew up, it was hard to be Haitian. One, because people beat you up, told you that you eat cat, told you that you should go back to your country, this and that. I actually had this conversation earlier today with somebody, and it just wasn't cool to be smart. On top of that, to be Haitian. Nowadays, everybody wants to be Haitian, but back then it was a lot more difficult. So you'll find a lot of kids who maybe weren't as smart as you that try to beat up on you because you were doing well in class. And I believe that it might have just not been something that they saw or was around them. So it could have been a little bit foreign, like, oh damn, you think you're smarter than me? You think you're better than me? So they'll want to fight you and beat up on you, which in turn makes you not want to excel in class. I know it's a crazy concept to understand, but it was our reality.
Yeah, that entire anti-intellectualism. I found that I lived in obviously living in South Florida or whatever. That anti-intellectualism is like just destroying our community. Like it's cool to be dumb and it's whatever not cool to be smart. If you're smart, you look at it as soft, a punk or whatever. If you're stupid and whatever, you make bad grades, you look at it as being quote unquote tough or whatever, being quote unquote black. It's the stupidest ish alive, and it's keeping our communities literally in the gutter. I started financipation because I want to kind of make it so quote unquote, I don't say necessarily cool again, but I want to kind of say that it's possible basically to be a dude with swag who basically is stacking your paper, who's married to a beautiful woman, who's got beautiful dating options or whatever, and you're a smart guy. There's nothing that's lame or whatever about that. So it is what it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, you're right about that, and I think it's because we haven't, or at least down here, I didn't see a lot of those examples when I was growing up, and I wasn't exposed to it as much. So if I did see, I probably would have gravitated towards that more, but it just wasn't my norm, or it wasn't in my environment. So
Got you. You said South Plantation High School, so basically that's like a suburb of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right?
I know that you don't like that word at all. That I know about.
African American does, bro. That's like friggin' our SWAT. I mean, that's a hate
No, for
somewhere,
sure.
whatever.
Even now, like, I guess just living down here for so long, it's just kind of enrooted in us, like plantation, South Plantation. So you don't even think anything of it just because it's just been the norm for so long. You were engraved or born into it. But yeah, South Plantation is a pretty diverse high school. I would say there's a lot of Hispanics there. There's some white kids. There's some black kids. So it was much different from my previous high school at Boyd Anderson, where it was mostly African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, a lot of Caribbean kids. The white kids were the minority.
Got you, got you. Let me ask you this: living in Miami, whatever. I honestly did not really run across a lot of African Americans. I just didn't. I met a bunch of Haitians, a bunch of Jamaicans, obviously, a heck of a lot of like Afro Latino people, Dominicans. I mean, everybody assumed that's what I was. Like, where are the African Americans in Miami? Because I just didn't see a lot of us, to be
Are
real
you
with you.
sure they're there? I think it might be because of the crowds that you run with or the places that you go, but there's plenty African Americans here in Miami. And I actually don't live in Miami. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Broward, and there's a clear distinction between the two. If you
Now
live down,
I saw our people in Fort Lauderdale, but just like in Miami, I mean, Hialeah, Little Cayo Ocho,
oh,
Brickell.
you in all the Hispanic places. What do you
I
expect
mean,
to see?
hey man, I assume they would mingle like we did in the Northeast, like we did in Philly and DC and Baltimore, because we
Uh,
mingle with the Latino, the Hispanic people up here.
it's really different down here. Like it's really um, I would say a little segregated.
It's very segregated.
I would say definitely a little segregated because there's a lot of different people down here. You have a lot of Hispanics, you have some white people, you have some black people, you have some people from the Caribbean, but everybody lives in their own little pocket and
Yeah.
business with their own little community. So
That was one of the major differences between leaving the Northeast and coming to Miami, because like where I grew up or whatever, the parts of the country that I grew up in, I mean, it was nothing for you to like walk into a party and it's full of Latinas, you dancing salsa, bachata, merengue, and then they start playing back the thing up or whatever, or they start playing hip hop and then everybody starts dancing exactly. And then like literally the next song, everybody's dancing like Marshall Montano and like Calypso and Soca, and then after that it's like Buju Banton and I mean that's what I grew up on, like literally
very diverse,
and
very
then you saw like everything there. When I got to Miami, that was a huge culture shock because, like you said, unfortunately, it's just the Cubans live here, the Dominicans live here, the African Americans live there, the Jamaicans live there, the Haitians live here, and they do not mix, unfortunately. So it's crazy. All right, though, bro, we can chop it up all night though about Miami demographics and everything. I do want to kind of get to the business stuff though.
okay, okay.
As a children of immigrants, though, what are I guess three really cool things or whatever about being an immigrant, and how did it shape you when you got to the United when you got as an American? Three very cool things.
I say the first thing I would say was probably knowing that it wasn't going to be easy for you. Nothing was going to be handed to you, so you're going to have to work hard for everything that you want to acquire in life. I find that I don't want to say African Americans, but people here who they typically find it. I'm trying to phrase this in the right way um, without anybody lashing out at me. But they typically have things handed to them, and for us, we knew that we were going to have to work hard for anything and everything that we wanted. Coming to this country with nothing. So that I found actually pretty cool. Just being like an underdog. The second thing I would say, you said what are the coolest things about growing up in Miami or being of an immigrant?
Yeah. What would they say? How did being an immigrant I guess shape you and everything?
Um, Outside of that, it I am the firstborn of three, so I had to grow up pretty fast,
Yeah.
and it I guess it was an interesting situation just because you're the firstborn of three, so I'm kind of like leading my family, and I'm the first person in my family to actually have a high school degree, like high school diploma.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
High school diploma.
Because your
Um,
family came over from Haiti.
Family
And
came
from
over, but they didn't even in Haiti it would be called secondary school,
yeah.
and they didn't even finish secondary school. They had to work, and there was an opportunity for them there. So even in Haiti, for us, it was pretty difficult. Thank God, my parents, my uncles, and my aunts provided a way for us to get over here. But if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would have known you right now, Chris, or my accent would probably been a little heavier.
Got you. So hard work, you said. So working hard, not taking things for granted, and basically, the third option that you said in regards to how you being an immigrant and everything. The third option was you basically took education seriously. So
Oh,
that was
yeah,
kind of it.
yeah, definitely have to take your education seriously because we weren't afforded that where we came from.
I got you. I got you. I talked to a lot of immigrants. I'm obviously married to an immigrant woman. My wife is born and raised.
Tell I said the area.
Wife is born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago or whatever, and it's interesting because, like I said, I grew up in a very diverse. I was a military kid, so I traveled a lot. But the Northeast kind of shaped me, and living around so many immigrants, growing up around so many immigrants, I definitely saw a lot of things that you're talking about in regards to you guys have free school here in this country. You can go to high school for free. I'm like, yeah.
I'd have to pay, and there's a school bus that picks you up.
Yep. Not saying America's perfect. Obviously, police brutality, shootings, things of that nature, mass shootings, school shootings. We have this country does have its issues, but I can say as an American who has spent a very large percentage of my life living around immigrants, I definitely, that work ethic that I kind of see with you guys, whether it's Nigerians, Indians, whoever, I saw Jamaicans, Haitians, I saw that and it kind of rubbed off on me as well. So, yep.
Yeah. I remember when I first met you, and I remember telling you that I was an entrepreneur, and you were kind of like in awe of that. And you told me that you were an engineer, and I was like, bro, that is very, very impressive. And I was in awe of that. But because I mean, from where I come from, the people I know, people I grew up with, I didn't even know that was an option as a career choice growing up. So it was either you're a doctor or a lawyer or you're nothing. Like that's just what it was. But I see things a lot differently now. Definitely gonna try to pave the way for my kids so they can see things differently as well. I don't have any kids yet, but I'm working on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. None that you know of, right?
Yeah. Let you tell it.
It's interesting, DJ, because like a lot of kids, like I always tell when I probably tell people I'm an engineer because of, like you said, I don't see a lot of engineers or whatever who resemble who have our reflection or whatever. I just don't. And I also don't see a lot of entrepreneurs who look like us. So when I first met you, bro, I was like, okay, how many businesses? When you start talking about your businesses and what you do, I was just like, dang, that's pretty dope. Because like you said, it's just not something that you see a lot of, particularly in Miami. So it was a mutual respect immediately. I was like, me and this dude, we're gonna be really cool. So definitely.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Especially I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. So the name of this podcast is obviously Financipation. I love talking about building generational wealth, DJ. And I also love the fact that you're an entrepreneur. So tell us about some of your businesses. I know you have a few of them. So tell us about some of your businesses.
Yeah, I have a few businesses. Like you said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have four active businesses right now. One being that I have a tax office. I'm here in it right now. I've had the tax office for about, next year will make it 10 years. So I started when I was 24.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it, man. We've been in business for a decade. And that was huge. That was huge for me because I didn't even realize how long I had been doing it until somebody asked me last year, how long did you do this? I think since I was 24, like 9 years.
You asked, could you do my taxes the first time I met you?
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, look, see, it's the entrepreneur in me, man. I got to go get it. I got to go hustle. I got to go grind. I got to get these clients, man.
Absolutely.
No, that's one of my businesses. I have a trucking company as well. The trucking company, I'm actually going to get out of it. It can be very beneficial, but there's a lot of expenses, a lot of maintenance that comes with it. So I'm looking to sell my truck. I have a 2017 Cascadia Freightliner, and that has been burning a hole in my pocket, and I need to let it go. So that's one of the companies that I have. And I actually have about 22 cars that I rent out, from Porsches to Corvettes to Alfa Romeos. It's a car rental company that I have. Do some financial consulting on the side, just helping people try to build wealth and showing them that if they have stable income, good credit, they can create passive ways of income so that they can not have to survive on their 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, I do some investing, but I think those are all the streams right now. I have about 5 employees that work for me, and I think that's about it. Did I name everything?
Got you. You said 5 different businesses. First off, the taxes business, congratulations for that, man. Less than 90, 9 out of every 10 businesses does not make it to 10 years. So, I mean, it might be more, it might be closer to 95% actually. So the fact that you've been in business for 10 years, DJ, that's very impressive actually. Um, maybe you don't appreciate it, but that's extremely impressive. Um, the trucking company, tell me a little bit about that one. I honestly did not know you were thinking about selling. And so what are if a person wants to get into that particular industry, like what advice would you give them, I guess?
Have a good $20,000 to $30,000 of liquid cash saved up for rainy days, because rainy days are coming. No question about that. I think if you are not actively in the truck yourself, you're not driving, picking up loads, it's going to be really difficult for you to make money because of the margins. You have to have a reliable driver that's going to be able to pretty much do everything for you. And then on top of that, you're going to have a dispatching company. So it's a lot to manage and be hands off. You definitely have to be hands on. This isn't something that can be passive. With the different stream that I have currently, I need to be hands off, and that's not an industry where you can be hands off. So I lost maybe about $35,000 within the last few months or so, and I'm definitely here to stop the bleeding. So it was good because I bought the truck outright, where I own it and I don't have to pay monthly or weekly payments on it, but it just hasn't been going well for me. And I tried a number of things, trying to have someone manage it for me. I managed it myself. We did really well when I was managing it myself, but I just don't have the time that's needed to allocate towards that particular company.
Got you, got you. No, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you are a very seasoned business person. You know if something is kind of worth if something's kind of worth the investment. You know if the apple is proverbially worth the squeeze. So, yeah, if sometimes you got to cut your losses and move on. One business that you mentioned that I'm actually seriously considering getting into myself. Describe this whole Turo business, because as a guy who lived in Miami, I know what it's like or whatever. In that environment, as far as people flying in wanting to spend $20,000 in one weekend. So explain the whole Turo business, okay? Because that one is very that seems very interesting to me.
Yeah, with Turo is a car sharing platform. So as we can see with the day and age that we're going into, everything is through technology, right? It's the same concept as Airbnb. You can go fly into a city that you've never been in, and you can rent someone's house and stay there. So it's basically car arbitrage, right? With Turo, you book the car that you want to drive out. It's different from a car rental company, because with car rental companies, they say that it's going to vary from this car or this car or this car. With Turo, it's different because you can actually choose the exact car that you want. You can pick it up, or you can have it delivered to you. And you can coordinate with the person who owns the car to have it delivered to you. I think that Miami is a great market for something like this because of what you said. People flying down, people wanting to stop for the weekend, have a good time, and we have cars that are, let's just say, desired.
Come on, man. You know we ask real questions here on Financial Patience. So name some of your most desired cars.
Well, we have right now. I have 4 Porsche Panameras, and I specifically built my fleet a certain way with data that I found from Turo, because I'm not going to get into something where I'm going to lose money, So I've taken enough losses to know these are the steps that I need to take to make sure that I don't lose any money. I have a few Porsche Panameras. I have 4 of those. I have five Corvettes, 3 Alfa Romeos, Stelvios, 2 Cadillac CT5s. I got a Honda Civic. I got a C300 Benz, and a few other cars that sometimes I forget, but those are the notable ones.
Got you. That's a very notable list or whatever. Of the cars that you have, what's your fleet like again? How many cars?
22.
22, got you. All right, cool. So as a guy who lived in Miami or whatever, it's a Friday night, it's a Saturday night. Some guys fly in, they got a bunch of cash to blow. They pick up some very nice tings in South Beach or whatever, in Brickell or whatever, in Fort Lauderdale. Some things happen. The guys end up flying back to Miami. They end up flying back to Dubai or Los Angeles or DC or wherever they're from.
Or wherever they're from.
Yeah, and the vehicle is trash. The back seat has a lot of things in it. There's alcohol everywhere, throw up, vomit, whatever. Who knows what it is? What happens or whatever? And that car comes back to you Saturday morning because Sunday morning because they got to fly back on Sunday night.
Sheesh. Well, thank God something like that hasn't happened for me as of yet. But if something like that were to happen, this is what I would do. Well, first off, they would definitely get charged a cleaning fee upwards of $100 because you're supposed to return the car in the same condition that you got it. If you don't return the car in the same condition that you got it, then there's going to be some fees. We're going to incur some fees there. But if something like that were to happen, I have a team that works with me. We'll go ahead and get it cleaned up, get it detailed, and get it ready for the next customer. I mean, it's just part of the business. So you have to know that that's what you signed up for.
Got you. I was looking it up. A Porsche or whatever, depending on what year it is, a 2022 Porsche right now costs about 55 to 60 grand. So,
Yeah.
For Turo, do you buy the car outright, or do you basically get it like on a 60 month lease or whatever, and then you're paying it down based off the profits you get from Turo? How does it work? I guess
You just explained it. That's exactly how it is. So normally you can buy or lease the car. I would never suggest to lease the car because there's going to be mileage restrictions on the lease.
Terrible. Leasing is horrible idea.
Yeah,
in every way financially.
It's the most expensive way to rent a car. Like that's what you're doing, right? But yeah, we would buy our cars outright. Depending on how much the vehicle costs, you could buy it cash, but I would never want to spend that kind of money up front, especially if I can buy it zero down or with little money out of pocket. And usually it takes maybe about 45 days for you to make your first payment. So you have that window, 45 days to just start generating profit. So I know more so than not, they say that businesses take about 3 years. It's not profitable for the first 3 years, but this is something that can be profitable from day one, where you can leverage your credit and start making money from day one.
Got you. So let's say I'm or whatever, back in the bachelor days or whatever, obviously, because I'm a happy married man now. But let's say you fly down to Miami, you say, okay, I want to rent a Lambo, or I actually said Porsche. I want to rent a Porsche for the weekend. It's my boy's birthday. We want to have some fun. So me and two guys, we fly down to Miami, and we want to rent one of DJ's Porsches or whatever for 3 days. How much would that cost on the open market to do that via Turo, I guess?
Well, via Turo, I will say Turo is a great platform, but you can definitely make a lot more money once you cut out the middleman, and that's all Turo is, a middleman. It's a platform that connects people so that they can meet and I can provide you a service and you can get a car in return. So something like that on the Turo platform may cost you maybe $1,000 for the weekend, something around there.
Wow. Okay. I actually thought it'd be more than that.
Exactly. It's not at all.
Yeah.
Outside of the Turo platform, it would probably cost you maybe about $750, $800 ish.
Same type of car though.
Same car, same everything. Just two parties involved, one party involved.
So Turo is a G, and if I go to, I don't know, not Auto Trader, if I go to like some kind of avis.com or something like that, same vehicle, it'll probably be, you saying about 25% less or no?
Well, if you come through me, it'll be 25% less. I would say that. But Avis, it might be around the same price as Turo, maybe more.
Got you. So what would be the benefit of going through Turo outside the fact that I don't know, you probably have a better chance of getting the type of luxury stunting type vehicle you want for the weekend? What's the benefit of Turo?
I think the benefit of Turo is the insurance that covers you, being able to choose exactly the kind of car that you want. Because if you come to me directly, I may or may not have the particular car that you're looking for. If I have only a fleet of 22, then you only have 22 choices to choose from. And of those 22, there's certain categories, like if you don't want a Porsche, if you don't want a Corvette, You might want a BMW. I have a BMW, but it might not be the BMW that you want. So Turo has a much more vast selection that you can choose from, opposed to coming to someone directly. But if we do have the selection that you're looking for, then obviously it makes more sense for you to cut out the middleman. You save money, make more money, and everybody's happy.
Got you. From a perspective as far as getting into Turo, let's say you live in Boise, Idaho, but you know the Miami lifestyle very well for whatever reason, and you want to get involved with it remotely, because I have listeners literally all over the world. How would a person want to get involved with something like Turo, if you will, if they don't necessarily live in that particular market? Is it a tough nut to crack?
I don't believe so. If you, I think it's kind of just like real estate. You don't necessarily need to live in the same market as your investment property, because your investment property is going to make money for you anywhere. If you have somebody that you can confide in, somebody that can manage your car, somebody like Djenald, somebody like DJ's Enterprises, then I would shameless plug. I would definitely reach out to
Plug away.
yeah, someone like that, where it really doesn't take much for you to make some extra money on the side. It really doesn't. If you have good credit where you can leverage it and make a few $100 a month, I think it just makes sense, because that way you can cut out. You'll have a luxury car to drive in once you come and visit that particular state that you're in, because you're in Boise, Idaho. No one's coming up to visit you up there. No one. So you're gonna come down here to Miami. And number two, you'll have a car. You'll be paying it off. It's gonna be generating income for you, and you'll have extra money on the side, just knocking out one of your bills. So I think it just makes more. I think it makes the most sense.
Got you. Another business DJ I want to bring up before I go to the next subject is I believe that financial emancipation, financial literacy, whatever you want to call it, I believe that kind of somewhat is a ministry. I want to talk a little bit about your financial consulting business and like how you kind of go about doing that, because that I actually did not honestly know that about you, and that's actually dope, because that helps everybody.
It does. You know what's funny about that? It's a business, but I don't really treat it like a business. So people see on Instagram, people see on Facebook, they see what you're doing, and they'll reach out to you and ask you for advice for their particular business, or just ways to get started on making extra money. And I always extend out as much information as I can. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna charge you for it, bro. It's almost like a nonprofit in reality. And I don't charge people for it just because I feel like that information is just open to the public. Like if you really want to find that information, you can find it. You just don't know where to find it. It's kind of like you're skimming the book, or you're going to the back of the book by asking me. And I don't have a problem giving you the game, because although no one really gave me the game, I had to work for it, find it myself. I don't have a problem with sharing that information, because I just have that Christian mindset where if I give, I'm going to receive, and I don't have any problem. I don't have a problem with people helping as many people as I can. So.
I agree. I remember when I first met my wife, I knew she was a keeper because there was a book I told her to read about finance, and this is even before we really kind of started dating. And she read the book like in one day, came back to me and started asking me all these questions, and it was crazy because I had been recommending that book to my family for like. Not necessarily my immediate family, but like my extended cousins for over almost 20 years, and none of them would read the book. But my wife at the time, she read the book and her entire family started asking me multiple questions. And as I started answering their questions, it literally changed the course of their financial tree. They started thinking differently about how to pay off their bills, about emergency funds, about 401k investments, about Roth IRAs, everything, about annuities, everything. They started thinking about everything very differently. And I was just like, this is power right here. Because if you can change a person's financial tree and they literally change the way they do everything, it puts them in a different socioeconomic status. And as much as whatever you want, exactly, mindset. And there are no more, I always tell people this, there are no more secrets anymore. There are no more secrets of the wealthy. All the quote unquote secrets, they exist inside these very weird things called books. And no one wants to read books anymore. I'm telling like it is, bro. And that's the thing. So So all my fellas that are listening, or whatever, have financial date nights with chicks with girls that you date or whatever. Because I'm telling you right now, if you meet a woman, you can talk to her about just different financial investments or whatever. And it's not all about having fun and partying and drinking and everything. That's a woman you want to kind of keep around. Because okay, this woman is financially literate. So yeah, DJ, I love that you said that, man. It literally is like a ministry.
I never even thought about that, having a financial date night.
Seriously, do it, bro. Like, tell a chick, read this book. She reads the book and then be like, okay, what was chapter 1 and 2 about? This is what I liked about it. What do you like about it? I'm telling you, man, it changes the entire concept of women that you date. It did for me anyway. So it puts you on a whole different level. I love that though, man. I love that. You mentioned something earlier too I want to bring up. You said you learned through the School of Hard Knocks. I think you kind of learned it the way I did. You took some vocational quote unquote college classes or whatever, but you really kind of learn the whole finance thing basically through making mistakes and just kind of just plunging in or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. That's a very expensive way, but I did that, and that's how I learned, okay, I'm not doing that again because it didn't work. How did you go about, DJ? You have 5 different businesses that you talked about. How in the world did you go about basically finding mentors for that? Was it Dr. Google? Was it Professor YouTube? How did you go about basically finding your mentors for your businesses?
It's funny that you mentioned that because there's a book called How to Talk to Anyone, I believe that's what it's called. And we know that our network is our net worth, right?
Absolutely.
I spoke to this actually stems from me playing football. I was playing football. I had an agent. I never went anywhere, only played semi-pro, but I definitely enjoyed it. My agent introduced me to the lawyer that was representing the firm. It was a black lawyer. He was great. We got really close, and he just wanted the best for me always. And I was just telling him about the different career choices that I had when I saw that football wasn't really going anywhere. And he told me to go into this adjusting, and from adjusting, I met my mentor, or this millionaire mentor. Actually, he's not far from me right now. He's in the same office, where he is kind of like guided me along the way for a lot of the different businesses that I have now. And even with a mentor, you may make some mistakes, but they're definitely going to fast track you on where you need to be. I thought I had a really good mentor prior to him, but I ended up meeting. Yo, Chris, I can't even tell you. I lost maybe $80,000 last year in a bad business deal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry to hear
that. Yeah, so am I. But I learned a lot from it. Yeah, although I lost, $80,000 might be a lot to some people. I learned a whole lot from that interaction. I can tell you this: I'm not gonna lose that amount of money again.
No, bro, that's a down payment for a house. No, no, that's a down payment for a real estate investment.
Won't happen again. But it taught me a lot. So the only thing I could do is chop it up and keep it moving. But definitely learned a lot.
Got you. You mentioned semi-pro ball. Tell me, as far as what are 3 really cool stories that you can actually say on YouTube about being semi-professional?
I can actually say on YouTube.
Because me and you we're cut from the same cloth. We believe in mind, body, and soul. We believe in being spiritually strong. We believe in being financially strong. We believe in being mentally strong, and we believe in not getting fat and being physically strong as well. So, tell me a little bit about that. What are 3 really cool stories you can say about being a semi-professional athlete, DJ? Because that's pretty impressive, actually, man.
I don't know if I have 3, but so I play football here locally in South Florida, and we've traveled all throughout up and down Florida playing one another. And one of the great things about it is that it's really competitive, because a lot of these guys are former high school players, former college players. Some of them even played in the NFL. So it's high level competition. And if you know anything about South Florida, it's high level trash talking. So
particularly in football.
Oh, come on. So I played for a team called the Broward Barracudas, and it still boils. Like, I'm still boiling because we lost 3 times in the conference championship, like 3 years back to back. I'm happy to say that I made a lot of connections. I made a lot of friends with playing semi-pro. It's kind of like, I want to say it's kind of like the NFL, but we don't travel as far, and we don't make definitely don't make as much.
Who's the best
And
athlete you played against that we would know about? A Lamar Jackson, Frank Gore, because some ball, Ocho Cinco, because some ball players have come out of
RDC,
RDC.
he played for Dominic Rogers Camardi.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he played in our league. I think that's maybe the most notable athlete. There was another athlete too. I can't remember his name right now, but there's a couple guys, couple big name guys in our league. And when people talk about these guys, they're like, oh, but bro, he puts on his pants the same way as I do, one leg at a time, bro. If he want to get his head smack coming across the middle, he can get his head smacked too. So just come.
I like it. That leads me actually to a next question that I have for you, because being as an athlete myself or whatever, I agree with that. There's something about stepping into the ring, something about stepping between on a basketball court, something about stepping on that gridiron. You know immediately, okay, you put your pants on just like I do. You got to get up in the morning and work out. You got to lift the same weight. You got to do whatever. I mean, there's obviously a certain level of respect that comes with it. At the end of the day, though, I'm a man, you're a man. We're going to compete.
Right.
How did being an athlete help you as an entrepreneur? Because I don't really fool around with entrepreneurs who weren't athletes, and I love kicking it with guys who are athletes. So yeah.
The great equalizer, right? I would say it helped me in a couple ways, bro. With being in semi-pro, the network and the community that I had around me, because people knew that I was a good person and I had a good character, it helped kind of propel a lot of my businesses, because people knew that I wasn't going to screw them over. And a lot of times it's not the product or the service that they're buying, because they're going to buy it anyway. It's the salesperson. And if you're likable, then people are going to come buy from you. They're going to come support you. But you also have to be knowledgeable. You have to know what you're talking about. You can't just be just anybody. You need to position yourself like you are an expert in whatever field that it is. So you need to continue to educate yourself and things of that nature. But as far as semi-pro, what has it taught me?
As far as being an entrepreneur, what skill set from that transition to very well to the businesses that you run right now?
Just being able to grind. Things are not gonna play out how you think they are. Things are not gonna play out. And in semi-pro world, it's even crazier, because it's not you getting paid to wake up to do this. This is not your job. This is literally a hobby.
Yep.
This is literally a hobby. So if you decide not to go to work today, you don't have to come to work. There may not be any repercussions for you not coming to work. So
yeah, man.
So things like that.
It's purely for the love. It's one way. It's purely for the love.
It's purely for the love of the game, and that affects the other people that come into play too, your teammates. Because if you're not dedicated to this, and I am dedicated to this, I might have a little resentment towards you if you blow an assignment, you don't know where you're supposed to be at, you don't come to practice. Like, in anything I do, I try to put 100% effort into it, right? And if you're not doing that, and I got a guy next to me that's not doing that, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. I remember when I used to kickbox and box and everything, I would have guys say, "Chris, we got a fight for you tonight. It's $300 if you show up, $300 if you win." So you would get in the ring, you could get a concussion, you could get your you can get your arm broke, you can get your toe broke, you can get knocked out, whatever, ribs broke. But you did it at least I did it for the love, because I that was how much I loved it. And like, you see guys like Wilson Hayes, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, Carla Monster. These are guys that are UFC fighters. They all fought for world championships. I actually would spar with dudes like that.
Wow.
But you did it literally.
Incredible.
No, it's cool. Like I said, from one athlete to another. When I first met you, I was like, me and this guy are gonna get along. And it's pretty cool because, like you said, the same mindset that I took in engineering, I approached it in the fighting. And the same concept he says about that team concept. Okay, if I don't take this fight, if I don't compete, if I don't train, these guys aren't going to be ready. I took that same mindset into my career, and I think that's one reason why I've always kind of gravitated toward athletes and also toward entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurship is the ultimate high. It's the ultimate team sport. It's the ultimate thing as far as, okay, I'm doing this or whatever, and if I succeed, if I were to get the goal, I'm gonna get possibly millions of dollars. Right. And that is something that I want more people who look like us to kind of experience it in life.
Yeah, same, because I had a meeting earlier today with some other entrepreneurs, and we were just meeting because we wanted to talk about collaboration. And I think collaboration is something that's really key and vital for growth and expansion when we're trying to scale. So we got together, we sat down, we had lunch at Del Frisco's in Fort Lauderdale.
Great restaurant.
Yeah, really restaurant. Try those egg rolls, shameless plug. And I was really just happy to be in that space because one is my mentee. He's about 24, 25, so we're about 10 years in age. And I wish I could have had somebody like me to kind of guide me along. Tell me the things that I'm doing wrong, show me what I need to be doing, just so I can be successful. So for him, I see a young version of myself in him, and if I could have had a 10-year head start, man, who's telling where I could be right now.
It's funny you say that, DJ. I read this somewhere. The closest thing human beings will ever get to a time machine is having mentors, because
wow, that's powerful.
If you think about it, if you know exactly what you need to do because you see a guy who did it the exact same way you want to do it, same hood, same culture, same whatever, and he's 35 or 40 years older, he says, don't do this, do this. You just saved yourself 25 or 30 years of life.
You saved yourself $80,000.
Exactly. Or $80,000. Right. For all my listeners, how do you go about finding a quote unquote mentor? Because in my career, that has always been a challenge in mechanical engineering, and sports has been a little different, but as a mechanic, like how do you go about particularly finding a mentor, I guess? How would you advise people to do it?
I think just speak. You have to go to networking events. You have to talk to people, because I believe in like the 6 degrees of separation, where there's somebody that knows somebody that can help you in the field that you're trying to be in, or the career field or the industry that you're trying to be in. So for me, I think, I have 2 mentors, and they're both millionaires. So there's only one way for me to go. Like I'm going to the top. And it's funny because he always says one thing. He always says something to me. He's like, listen, I want to make sure that you do good, because if you do good, then that means that you're not going to come to me for anything. And
that's what it's about.
I can't say it any better than that.
That's what it's about.
It's true, because I think of it like me too. For my mentee, I want him to do really good. I want him to be prosperous. I want him to gain as much knowledge as he can, because I know that he'll be good. He won't need me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Now, I love it, DJ. With the businesses that you have started, because you've got about 4 or 5 of them, which one has had the best return on investment? And if you were a kid, 17 years old, didn't want to go to college, or 17 years old, you did want to go to college, which business would you tell that 17-year-old kid to get involved with, and why?
Best return on investment. I would definitely have to say my tax office is the best return on investment, because I only invested, maybe buying the software was about $600.
TurboTax, H&R Block, what software?
It was OLT Pro. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's a very functional software, user-friendly. It does everything that it needs to do, and it's not one of the popular brands, but it's very functional. You can do exactly the same thing as the more expensive brands. I bought that for about $600, and we made maybe about $150,000 last year. So the return on that is pretty substantial. I will say too, just being transparent, last year was my best year in taxes. The year prior to that, made about 80,000. So it's been increasingly better. But I will say that's probably the best return on investment. I was gonna say the cars, because if you put zero down on a car, you just start making money right away. But 600, 150,000.
Yeah, that's almost an 1,000% return, literally. So you can't beat that.
Yeah. So, and that's something that you can keep with you forever. It's a skill. You don't even need this office. I started going to people's houses. This is when I was 24 though. Hey, do you need anybody to do your taxes? Well, I'm studying in school. I'm about to get my bachelor's degree. I know what I'm doing. I think I had maybe like 10 clients my first year. Like 10. Most of them were family members.
Be happy that your family supported you. Not everybody's. A lot of people can't say that about their family members, unfortunately.
That's true. And now we have over 200 clients. So,
hey, thank God for it, DJ. You mentioned something just now. As Black folks or whatever, as men, both of us, at least I know I don't speak for myself. I was told to go to college, I was told to make good grades, go to college, take out a lot of student loans, get a degree, work for someone for 40 years or whatever. I did most of that, with the exception of, obviously I didn't work for 40 years yet, but I figured out a way to go to college for free. And I have a plug for my book or whatever below. But
yes, sir.
What's your take, DJ? Yep, scholarship, the Golden Road to Financial Emancipation. Check it out, everybody. You can buy it on Amazon, $24.99. I was blessed. I got a full ride to go to undergrad. So we're told essentially to go to college, take out a lot of student loan debt, work for someone else, and then retire wealthy. What's your take on that? Do you think that's a good concept? Do you think it's a bad concept? Do you think we should kind of modify it a little bit? Because student loan debt right now is crazy.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's a bad concept, because even with the company that you start, you're gonna need somebody to work your company. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. It's not as sweet as it looks. I don't even have hours of operation. Like, I'm working
right now. Like, just before we got on this call, I got a call. While we were on this call, you guys saw somebody walk into my office. So, and what time is it now? It's like 7:30. So we've been working all day. When you work a 9 to 5, you're only working from 9 to 5. I'm working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And if that's something that you think that you can do, yes, there's a lot of freedom that comes with it, but a lot of hard work too. So I don't necessarily think that it's a bad concept at all, because we're gonna need people to work for us for the rest of our lives. That's how this country functions. But I do think that you should always have something of your own. I think that you should always be working towards something that you're passionate about, something that can make you some money on the side, so that eventually maybe one day it can grow to something that can replace your income, and so that you don't have to work. Absolutely. I always tell my young heads, and I always tell my younger cousins and stuff, if you don't want to go to college, cool, learn a trade, go to construction. If you don't want to go to construction, you don't want to go to college, join the Marines, but you need to do something.
Do something.
Another thing too, I tell people, yeah, exactly. Another thing I tell people too, especially if you go to college, regardless of what career you pick, engineering, law, finance, healthcare, whatever it is that you pick, you need to spend about 2 to 3 hours every day working on a side business, period. So if you work 50 hours a week in corporate America, you need to spend about 20 hours a week working on your side business, for the exact reason, DJ, that you said right there. There's nothing wrong, I think, with going to college. I honestly wish more people did, to some extent, figure out an affordable way to go to school, because there's a certain skill set that you kind of learn in college. I don't care what people say about it, period.
Oh, for sure.
And you get more from school than just an education. I fell in love with Caribbean and Hispanic culture in college. I mean, my wife is from the Caribbean. I fell in love with that culture years before I met her, because I started I was like, whoa, I like soca, I like dancehall, I like reggae. Seriously, you learn more from school, you get more from school than just an education. Yes. But regardless of what you get into, you need to spend about 2 to 3 hours a day working on your side hustle. Why? Because like you said, DJ, that side hustle should eventually supplant your quote unquote 9 to 5 corporate America job, if you decide to go that route. If you learn a trade, it literally steamrolls itself directly into owning your own business or whatever. If you join the Marines, same thing. You basically have a skill set that you can use to kind of consult on the side. So I tell everybody, it's not, should I go to college or should I start a business? You need to do both, period.
Yeah, definitely need to do both. I mean, I have a buddy of of mine who was in the military, and I think he jumped in the military. He didn't even finish college. As a matter of fact, he told me a story the other day. He was saying that he was in college with us, but he never attended classes. So he never signed up for classes. He was just there. He was there. And eventually,
Party.
yeah. So he
South
went
Florida college is not a bad thing sometimes.
to, so he ended up going to the military.
Good for him.
Fast forward, it's been however many years since 2007 when we graduated, and he sold his first house with a loan from the VA, 0% down. Um, paid, yeah, I think in excess of $200,000 on that. Bought another house in Coral Springs, and with the market now, the value of the house already doubled. If you wanted to sell that, you'll be already up $400,000, $500,000, and that's half a mil right there. And he went to college, but he didn't go to college, to say the least. So
yeah, there's multiple ways to success that don't necessarily just involve getting a degree. What bothers me is when I meet people who don't want to do any of it. They don't want to join the army, they don't want to join the military, they don't want to learn a trade, they don't want to be an entrepreneur, and they don't want to go to college. I'm like, what good do you serve for our country?
How do you even meet people like that? I can't even be in the same vicinity.
I don't stick around in their world for very long, or more important, they don't stick around in mine. It's just we have nothing to talk about. If you're not doing anything with your life, it's very hard for me to respect you as a man, period. It's just, I hate to sound like that guy, but it's the truth. It's just like, what purpose do they serve for anybody? And it's sad to say that.
Yeah, the new Kevin Samuels, Christopher Phelps, everybody.
On that note, there were let's just serious question real quick, okay? There were 3 things that surprised me when I got to Miami. First and foremost, Miami has a huge street basketball pro-am kind of thing. Like, as a kid who kind of somewhat grew up in the Northeast, obviously Baltimore, Philly, DC, New York, basketball is huge there. I was kind of blown away at how hard people play ball in South Florida. I knew y'all played football, but basketball kind of surprised me. That was a nice surprise. Audition is also a very huge underground entrepreneurial network. I did not realize how hard Miami goes for entrepreneurs. The third thing, though, that did kind of surprise me, DJ, is that there is a palpable disconnect between like Jamaicans, Haitians, and African Americans.
The other day.
Yeah. How do we? I guess I'm from the Northeast, so I'm not used to that. How do we bridge that gap? Because that blew me away when I saw like how just utterly, I'm talking about to the point where if you're a Black American owning a business, there were people I met who flat out would not support me at all just because I was Black, and they was like Haitian Jamaican dudes. So like, how do we bridge that gap? Because it literally is keeping us behind in the South. Period. I don't care how you look at it.
That's tough to say, man. I think that goes back to your upbringing. I think that goes back to way before we can count. I always think traveling is the answer to everything. I don't know. For me, if I were to travel and see different things in different places, it would change my perspective on some things, because I used to think places in the Caribbean weren't industrialized, right?
Right.
Like everything was a shack. Everything isn't a shack. There's some really beautiful places out there, but I would have known if I didn't go out there and travel. So I think the same we can say for some Black Americans. There are some really prosperous Black Americans in places like DC, New York, LA. I think that if other people in South Florida go outside of South Florida and see some of the things that I want to say we are doing, but what other people are doing, I think it would open their eyes to really see that it's not just what's in our environment. There's other people out there as well that are really doing well.
I agree. I know America does a very good job. I always tell people, I'm a tall, athletic, heterosexual, happily married Black guy who's dominating corporate America and doing very well in my size.
My dog.
It's a blessing. Thank you, God, for that. But they don't show men like me or you on television. They show guys like me or you on television. They're either playing. They don't show. Yeah, they either locked up. They're rappers or they're playing. It's some other kind of weird agenda that's kind of going on. They don't show men like us on television, which is one reason why I wanted to start Financiation, because I was just like, these are not the images that you see on TV. These are not the kind of Black men that I saw in my life growing up and that I interact with every day. And I wanted to kind of change that.
It's
You also
funny.
bring up, yeah. Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wish I could have interacted with that because I know that you have other brothers as well, and I think that they're pretty successful. I wish I kind of could grow up and I wish I would have grown up in that atmosphere. I wonder what I would have turned out to be. Would I still have been an entrepreneur, or what could I have done
You'd
more
have
of
done
that
both.
greater? You know what I'm saying?
I think you'd have done both. You'd have done both. Yeah, I remember I was dating a Venezuelan woman, and she ended up going to Atlanta for a while to study to be a dental hygienist. And that was her first experience of ever being around, like, according to her words, not mine, seeing like black guys driving Bentleys and owning businesses and practice and stuff like that. And a hospital that she worked at, the lead dentist or whatever, the guy who owned the practice was a young African American gentleman. According to her, he was in his late 30s. And that was the first time in her life she said she had ever seen African Americans owning businesses, driving cars. And she was just like, Chris, I lived in South Florida and Venezuela. That's not something that I ever saw in those
Yeah,
environments. And it completely, she said, in 2 or 3 days changed her entire mindset about black people.
I
And
love.
that's the representation that I want us to kind of start showing people, that yes, there's a side of the media shows, but there's more to us than that, I guess.
No, for sure. And I think Black Hollywood does a pretty good job with that. Atlanta. Um, yeah, I think that it does a really good job of
Got you, got you. Dinner guest, DJ. If you could have 5 dinner guests, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
that. Wow.
You can go spiritual, you can go non-spiritual, you can go entrepreneurial, you can go whatever. 5 dinner guests, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Who would they be and why? Wow. That's a really good question. 5 dinner guests off the top of my head. I don't know why I want to say Jesus really bad. I want to say Jesus.
Hey, that's it.
It's like, oh, I need Jesus at the table. Like,
That's
if
one
it's
of mine.
anybody, if it's anybody, it's me that I need Jesus at
Hey,
the table.
hey, you have a fish fry, you would have water, the best wine you've ever drank in your life. I mean, hey, you never run out of food.
Oh yeah. We're gonna eat good that night, and we're not gonna pay a lot. Um, who else would I say there? Uh, Robert Smith,
Oh
definitely.
God, yes, richest black man
Like
alive. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in America right now, absolutely, yes.
first and foremost. Yeah, he would definitely be there. I'm a big football fan, but I know at the end of the day, these guys are just regular guys. So I like to see people doing things in the community, things people who are sharing like their entrepreneurial spirit, who are teaching financial empowerment. So anybody who would embody that, I probably have at the table. Just guys who are doing better than me. I can't think of any off the top of my head because right now, oh, I'd like to have you there, Chris.
Oh, well, thank you, DJ. I don't think I'm that important, but I appreciate that, bro.
It's not that you listen, man. You're preaching a powerful message here, bro. You don't know how many people that you're reaching with this page. Well, I'm sure that you can probably see the data, but um, you're definitely making an impact. Just know that.
Yeah, that's the plan, man. Just try to, I don't know, fix the community in my own little small way. That means a lot, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate
No,
that.
for sure, for sure. But those are 3 people I'm gonna have at the table, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Robert Smith, you and Jesus Christ, bro. I might bring my brother because he needs that kind of outlook too. But outside of that, those are the 3 people I have.
Got you. All right. I'm gonna actually answer this question too. I'm gonna bring Kobe Bryant.
I know you love Kobe. I know you.
Yeah, you know, that's my favorite athlete of all time. So I'm gonna bring Kobe. God rest the dead, or I mean, God bless the dead. So Kobe, not to mention the fact he made more money. He made twice as much money off the court as an entrepreneur than he did as a ball player. That's insane. So I'm gonna say Kobe. I'm gonna say Kevin Samuels.
Oh my man, how could I leave Kevin Samuels out?
So
My
rest in
man.
peace. Rest in peace to the Godfather. I'm gonna bring Kevin Samuels. Let me see who else. I'm actually gonna say Tupac because I think that he died before he did what God put him on this planet to do. I think him being a rapper was not what he was destined for something else. I don't know what it was gonna be, politics or civil rights league, but Tupac was supposed to do something else. I don't know what it was gonna be, but he was supposed to do something else.
You feel like he had more of an impact alive or dead?
Honestly, I would say dead, man, because the dude's been dead for almost 20, longer than that, actually. He's been dead for almost 30 years, and he still resonates, and I mean, in my opinion, he resonates. So yeah, I would say, yeah, that him, and I'm also gonna go a little financialness with Mansa Musa, the richest man to ever live.
Yes.
The guy was a trillionaire, black guy. Black guy. I have no idea how Hollywood has not made a movie about that guy yet. It's crazy.
I have an idea. I have an idea why.
Yeah, he doesn't fit their agenda, right?
Hmm.
And then obviously I gotta go with the GOAT, the greatest of all time. You know who is the king?
Oh, LeBron, right?
No, bro. Come on, man. The real King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Alpha and the Omega. I gotta go with Jesus, man. Seriously.
Okay. I thought you were talking about LeBron, man. I'm like, if you got Kobe there, you gotta have Bron. But
No, man. I mean, I gotta go with Jesus. I mean, this dude. I mean,
story for another time.
Yeah, could feed 10,000 people or whatever, men and women. Turn water into wine. It was a very charismatic guy.
Yeah.
Died for us. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go with Jesus as the fifth one. So you have Tupac and Jesus at the same table. That would be an interesting conversation.
Oh man, yeah, that would definitely be something. I don't know what we ordering, what we eating, but I want salmon on my plate.
I was gonna be like, Jesus, whatever food you want to make it, because it's gonna be the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Let's run it, man. We should set that up in heaven one day.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. This is a financial channel, DJ, and me and you have both mentioned we are readers. What are 3 books you would tell my listeners to read? I would say.
I wrote this down somewhere. So I mentioned an earlier book, 92 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships, and I think those would help just anyone be able to have a conversation with anyone else.
What's the name of it?
It's 92 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships.
Got you.
So I think that's going to help just the average Joe Schmo to be able to talk to someone about anything, because we know that our relationships and our network, our community, is going to help us to elevate to where we want to be at. So you just never know who you're going to run into. Rich Dad Poor Dad, of course, Robert Kiyosaki, and Financial Intelligence.
Financial Intelligence. All right, I'm going to check that one out. That's the one I have not heard of that you said.
It's steps and strategies to reorganize your lifestyle in order to improve some of your finances.
Got you. I'm gonna add it to my reading list. I'm gonna read it next week. Cool. I like it. If I were to answer this question, I would say Black Faces in White Places, just because if you are a minority, I think that book should be in every household in this country, because this guy, if you don't know who Randall Pinkett is, you need to read up who this guy is. The dude, CEO of BCT Partners or whatever, read up on this guy and his journey with the apprentice and everything. I mean, he's one of those kind of people. These are the kind of brothers, DJ, that I kind of grew up kind of seeing and stuff like that. That's why I moved the way that I moved. So phenomenal book or whatever. Another book, Finances, a Financial Channel. I like The Richest Man in Babylon just because it's a very easy read. The book is about, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000 years old, but it's crazy because the stuff that the guy talked about in that book is still applicable today. It's crazy. Good things never fade. They stand the test of time. Look at the pyramids. And then lastly, because I do want to kind of get a little more serious with it, I think people need to read the book, The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, because it kind of systematically breaks out why systemic racism in this country. And if you want to know how to break something, you have to understand how it actually functions and how it works. So that's my book. Chris? Yeah, the New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Phenomenal book. It's gonna make you mad, but it's a good book. So The Richest Man in Babylon, Black Faces in White Places. So those are the books I would say. And also, DJ, let's keep it moving. This is a financial channel. So what are 3 pieces of financial advice you would give my listeners? Okay.
Have a budget. That's number 1. Definitely need a budget. Have a goal. Set some goals and break down your goals to where it is obtainable. Like really sit down and think about what you want to do. Write down your goals and make your goals even smaller into bullet points. What do you need to do every day to obtain those goals?
Absolutely.
Because then it doesn't become a goal. It's
it's going to be a destination at that point.
Destination. There you go. Destination. And continue to educate yourself. Educate yourself on industry, on things that you want to learn, finances. If you want to take up a skill, religion, being able to converse with different people is going to help you elevate to where you want to be at. So those 3 things. Got
you. If I were to answer this, I would say have a side hustle. Spend at least 2 hours a day, 14 to 15 hours a week on your side hustle. I don't care how much money you make or what you do. Have a side hustle, because that's what you should be building toward, eventually allowing you to retire with dignity and with respect. I'd also say it's very simple, but save more money than you spend, period. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of people do not do that. And lastly, I would say max out what I call the 3 pillars. Max out your 401k if you can. If you can't max out your 401k, at least invest it to the employer match. Max out your HSA account, which is about $7,200 a year or $3,600 a year if you're a single dude. And I'll say lastly, max out your Roth IRA, which is $6,000 every year. If you can do those 3 things or whatever, you are guaranteed to be a millionaire just off the laws of compound interest in less than 20 years or whatever. It's as simple as that. And ask me for a 101, I can let you know which stocks to invest in as well, okay?
Yeah.
So that's how I will answer that. And I got 2 more questions for you, DJ, okay? Because I want to be respectful of your time. So this is a question a young lady asked me, and I think you would be a good guy to answer it, okay?
Oh, boy.
This is what she said. I am a strong, independent woman with 2 kids, and I work as a paralegal in Atlanta. Most men are intimidated to date me because I have a good job. How can I find a guy like you to date?
Hey, you got to edit this out, man.
I changed the city because I want to obviously protect her. I know this woman, but yeah, like, how would you answer that question? Okay.
A guy like who today? Like you or me?
No, I'm married, bro. I'm good. I'm talking about you.
Oh my God.
She's a strong, independent woman. She says with 2 kids and she's a paralegal or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris. It's gonna be really hard to date someone like me because I'm not gonna date somebody with 2 kids. That's just me personally. I'm on a serious note because I want my own family. I don't want a blended or extended family. However, that will come about. But for me personally, although I don't have an issue with that, with you having kids, I couldn't be in a relationship with somebody a serious relationship with someone who has kids. Yeah. So it's not about her being a paralegal or anything like that, or even living in Black Hollywood, Atlanta, which I don't like. But to answer her question, a guy like myself, just continue to educate yourself and be able to have those kind of conversations with them when it comes to finance, like kind of like the date that you had, the finance date that you had. But that's what I would tell her.
Yeah, I would say be fit, be feminine, be friendly.
Yes.
Men don't want to date. At least I know I don't, and I'm assuming you're the same way, DJ. Well, I know you're the same way because I know what you like.
Because you know me for real in real life.
I know you for real. We don't want to date a woman who's overweight and obese. I just can keep it completely honest. Most men that make over $100,000 a year, they have options, and they ain't trying to date a woman who basically does not, who's allergic to the gym. So be fit, be friendly, and be feminine. There's a certain tranquility that men have. There's a certain tranquility that a man wants to meet in a woman. We don't want to come home to a war zone. So, lady, I would tell you to be fit, be feminine, be friendly, cook and clean for the guy, and having 2 kids. That's going to be. I'm just going to keep it completely honest. A lot of men who have options, they're not gonna take you seriously. But good luck. There are people out here who have no problem walking into a ready-made family. So,
exactly. Yeah. There's other guys that are really successful. They might have children already where it's not gonna matter to them at all because they already have their own kids. So
definitely. And my last question for you, DJ, because like I said, I want to be respectful of your time. When your time on this earth is past and everything, and God calls you home, what do you want your legacy to be, bro?
DJ helped so many people. DJ touched so many hearts. DJ helped change so many lives. I want people to be able to say that about me. I also want to create generational wealth for my family, and I'm putting things in place now so that they can have that later.
Got you. I love it. Do you want to be able to add father and husband to that list?
Eventually, man. I'm not rushing it, bro. You know me. Just hanging out. No, I'm kidding. I definitely want to be an amazing father. But that's going to be in time. We know about my past relationships, so I don't want to rush anything. I'm just going to take my time, and God is going to bless me with what He wants to bless me with when it's time. I'm working on something right now, so we'll see. Absolutely.
All right, ladies, he is single, so DM if you need to, I can get his information. Or are you single?
Mindset is everything.
Great answer. That's what I would have said. Nah, In all seriousness, DJ, this was great, man. Shout out to your business because you said a lot of different businesses, and I truly want as many people as possible to be able to reach out to you if you have set a business that they need or whatever, whether it's financial consulting, Turo, your tax offices or whatever. So how could a person get in touch with you? Instagram, Facebook, whatever. How could a person get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Djenald Richard. It's gonna be really easy to find me because I think I'm the only one that name.
Can you spell it? I know. Can you spell it?
Right. Yeah, it's DJENALD. Or if you have Instagram, it's really easy to reach me on Instagram. At Mr. MR Taxes, TAXESPRO, Mr. Taxes Pro, or I am the Prince. Dang, I might need to change that. But I am DA Prince _. So it's really easy to reach me. You guys can send me a DM, and I'll be more than happy to help.
Got you. This has been lovely, man. This has been lovely. Definitely, DJ. You always got a brother and a dog in me. You know that. So anything you need, man, I am here. And thank you once again for signing on. I always tell everybody, iron sharpens iron. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with other people. And you're one of those kind of brothers that people can build generational wealth with. And you're also one of those kind of brothers that you're a real one. You're a real one. And I love that about you. And you always have been, man. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Make sure you have a room for me to stay when I come up to DC. Just make sure.
So for sure. Definitely. Absolutely. Whenever I'm back, I will be hitting you up for sure. Yeah. All right, everybody. Cool. It's a wrap. Once again, everybody, this channel, Financipation, is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. And it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and take care, everybody. It's your boy, Chris. I'm out. Peace.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on, brother.
For sure. Peace.
Blessings.